Alrighty, what is it? Tuesday. Another week of live streams. Still light. Still going to be very light at the start of the streams for another month or two, I guess. Then we'll slowly get back to it being a bit darker at the start of the streams. But that's daylight saving and summer for you. Hello, Megaleech, by the way. Actually, now I want to look up when does daylight saving end in 2022? 3rd of April. So, okay, I reckon at the latest then, which is still like 3 months away, when daylight savings flippers back, then it'll be darker at the start of the streams. Heine, hello, how are you doing? That's tonight's exciting exploration, daylight saving. And my controversial take is I'm a fan. Because I like it when it's much lighter later in the evening. So, hello, Justin. And Shay on Twitch, hello. You're on your 7th drink after work. Holy cow. I am not having that many drinks tonight. Yes, this is in fact my first, a rum old-fashioned, made with a very aromatic sugar syrup I made that had chai and cinnamon in it. So it's a very flavorful old-fashioned. I think I made this a while ago. Like I made a bottle of it. I think I used at least 3 different rums in it. I tend to not write these things down. Mrs. Angry always says I should write things down and label bottles and such like. And I'm like, I'll remember. I don't remember. Heine, you had your 3rd shot, Moderna. That's what I had a week ago. I was tired for about a day and a half, and it was a bit discolored. I don't think it's discolored anymore. I don't think... is there a faint discoloration there a week later? Feels like there's a tiny bump there. But it was quite sensitive for a couple of days. Justin, hardly anything to do at work. I'm actually on leave. I'm in the middle of 2 weeks leave. And I've been keeping busy. I've been doing household stuff. And I've been doing a new style of video for my cocktail channel, sort of fake animated style that is considerably more time-consuming to make than the other ones I was making. But I'm enjoying it, and people are reacting well to it, so I see. And Durkistani, also on Twitch, hello. You'll have a sneaky drink on the way home. I've done a couple of times. I've been working in the city in the before times when we still did that. And public transport's been fucked, like something's broken down and it's like, oh, there's a half hour, 45-minute delay. And I'm like, well, I'm not fucking sitting here waiting for a thing. I'm going to find a bar somewhere in the city and have a drink for an hour while I wait. So, cheers. So I do have a new gin to try tonight. And then I think I'm going to make a drink with that. That I was devising for a video. basically a drink that is inspired by a Harvey Wallbanger, but isn't shit like a Harvey Wallbanger is shit. Basically, no vodka and no orange juice. And it's not in a tall glass. It's in a cocktail glass, served neat. So it's actually going to end up being a bit more like a gin sour than a Harvey Wallbanger, but, you know. Poetic license. Yeah, Justin, you had a lump for a few days after Moderna? Yeah, so did I. Yeah. And it was discolored for quite a few days. I don't think it really is anymore. But that's what happens when they stab a sharp thing into your arm. But yes, from what I've read, you start to get significant protection from the Moderna booster after 7 days, which is where I am. And I think they're broadly saying, you know, the peak of your protection kicks in 2 weeks. So I'm avoiding other people for another week. And I'm still not going. I mean, some of my friends have been talking about, you know, going to the movies or going to a bar. I'm like, no, fuck no. There is so much fucking COVID in circulation at the moment. If you're in a crowd, if you're in an indoor thing, you are 100% being exposed to COVID. That doesn't mean you're going to contract the virus. And if you contract the virus, it doesn't mean you're going to get sick. But, you know, if I can reduce the risk, I'm going to reduce the risk. No one's had COVID. Internet friends COVID. Anyone physically that I interact with? Not yet. Actually, no. The closest is Mrs. Angry's son has a half sister who we see semi-regularly, and she's just tested positive. And she didn't go to any big events or anything. She actually can't work out where she got it. So that's the closest to me. Mrs. Angry's son, who lives here half the time, and with his dad half the time, his half-sister has tested positive. So off the top of my head, that's the closest one. But a bunch of internet friends have had COVID. And Justin, it's closing in on all of us over the next couple of months. We all think the number of cases has spiraled in the last couple of weeks. Like, mofo, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's not peaking. I reckon they're going to continue to shoot up for the next month. And if you look at the rate of growth, like in 2 weeks, going from 2,000 cases to 50,000 cases, it does not speak well to what it's going to be in another month. We live in trying times. Megaleech, your wife's brother has it. There you go. So, yeah. But holy crap, if you don't know anyone, if you're not close to anyone who's had it in a month, that will be amazing. It's certainly possible, but I think we'll be up to like 1 in 10 people has been exposed at that point. So if you're not close to someone who's tested positive, that would be pretty goddamn amazing, quite honestly. We shall see. So I am enjoying my rum old fashioned. This is a not for everyone drink. This one, it's got quite strong earthy flavors because of the spices like chai and cinnamon that are in the syrup. And there were some pretty serious rums in it. Like I said, I forget what I actually did, but there's at least 3 rums in there. So it's like 3 rums, a very flavorful sugar syrup, and bitters. Justin, your best friend's being forced to go to the office every day. God damn. Got a boss that won't let him work from home unless the government mandates it. Yes, I think his employer is completely irresponsible too. we're coming up on 2 years of me working from home, and I think I'll get the 2-year anniversary. I don't think I'm going to be under any sort of meaningful pressure to go back to the office before about April. Seriously, it's going to get so fucking hectic in the next month. And then a month after that to settle down. And I started working from home in March 2020. And I have a very strong suspicion I won't be under much pressure to go into the office before April. So I'll hit the 2 years working from home. Now, in that 2 years, I've gone into the office half a dozen times. But I have gone into the office maybe half a dozen times. I actually went into the city yesterday for a dental appointment. Actually, what do you call a periodontist? Someone who specializes in gouging your fucking gums because I had gum disease. And I was there 3 or 4 months ago, and she did like really major gouging on my mouth, like to the point that she gave me a local anesthetic because of how much she was going to be gouging. And said, yeah, we'll see how it is. Told me how to brush my teeth and use an interdental brush, and went back yesterday. And I think I've gone in that 3-4 months from my gums getting an F grade, very bad, just bleeding all over the place and gross, to I think I'm on about a B- now, like a really significant improvement, but still some way to go. So I think my overall grade for my gums has gone from F, a failing grade, to B-. I was initially giving myself a C, but I thought, no, I think that's a bit harsh. I think I'm a B-. But I think I get A for effort. She was very pleased. I think the improvement was beyond what she expected. Because as she says, a lot of it relied on me brushing properly and using the interdental brushes. And I think, well, this dude got fucked up gums because he doesn't brush properly or use interdental brushes properly. So he's probably not going to do it properly. So it probably won't improve that much. But it did. And she was impressed. Also, she likes, so I make a point of wearing different cocktail shirts when I go in. I think I've been in 3 times now. And I always get appreciation for the cocktail shirts as well. So, you know who else gives me appreciation for the cocktail shirts? Dan Murphy's staff. So, just saying. And I actually really like it. If I'm ever somewhere wearing one of my flamboyant shirts and someone comments and smiles, it's not always alcohol-related places. Like I said, my dentist liked it. But if people comment on the shirts and like them, it makes me smile. I'm happy that someone goes, wow, that dude is wearing a very unusual flamboyant shirt. Good for him. Because this is Melbourne, where we all wear black all the time. And I'm just wearing these really bright, flamboyant shirts. Not even gay. When I wear these shirts, I always think about when Homer, an early episode of The Simpsons, or probably about season 10 or 12, I forget when it was, the one that had John Waters in it. Homer's paranoid that Bart's gay, and Bart's found a really flamboyant Hawaiian shirt in the closet, and Homer's saying to Marge in an upset way he's worried Bart's gay, and Marge is telling him to calm the hell down. And well, look at the shirt he's wearing, Marge. There's only 2 types of guys wear that type of shirt. Gay guys and big fat party animals. Does he look like a big fat party animal to you? So I think, of the 2, from Homer's perspective of who wears these flamboyant shirts, I'll leave that out in the open. Chris, you can't afford a dentist at the moment. Yes. And your COVID spike is so much worse than ours. I would also wait. One thing I actually pay, like we have socialized medicine in Australia, but dental isn't covered. I also have private health insurance for extras because there was some bad, I was going to say chronic health. It's a fatal health thing. More cancer than usual in my family, which made me very paranoid. So I paid for expensive health insurance. So if I get sick, I can go to proper hospital straight away. And that's worked, not for the cancer. I haven't had cancer, but for a couple of things I've done. But I've got health insurance because I'm paranoid, but it covers dental. And there usually is a bit of an excess, but it doesn't cost me that much because a lot of it's covered. Justin, I agree. It should be, if you want to work from home, you should be. unless it's impossible. But again, the sort of boss who wants office people to work in the office is a fucking loser. Just sort of weird, power mad middle manager who wants to micromanage people. It's shit. Fortunately, my immediate boss is not like that at all. She's cool with us working from home. And she made a big thing about I needed to take time off because I hadn't had any. I've now been in the same place for 2 years, got my contract extended another 6 months, yay, which is actually quite unusual for someone to contract for that long there. But we're working on me being there permanently, actually. No, sorry. But anyway, I hadn't had significant time off since Christmas the previous year. So she's been, you should take a break. And I went, yes, I should. So I'm having 2 weeks off in the middle of that. Aussie Gun Bunny and Safa, g'day. So Chris is saying schools have closed. Other schools are working out. Oh, God. Hospital staff are working. If you test positive but aren't symptomatic, you stay at work at hospitals in Australia. That's the official rule. Musical Aveda getting your booster today. We've had people reporting their booster. Sorry, you're getting your booster tomorrow. I've had people reporting it today. I had mine a week ago. In another week, I'll be a bit more comfortable about interacting with humans. I'm still not going to go to restaurants, bars, cafes, cinemas, not doing shit like that, being in an enclosed space with people for an hour or two, just not doing that. Possibly interacting with individual friends, yes, but either going to someone's place or having someone here. But it's going to be a while before I go to public venues again. Nice. How's it gone, Bunny? You got all clear from COVID on the weekend. Well, that's a huge plus. Chris, don't worry if you buy a COVID test. White House will make sure insurance, if you have it, will cover it in a few months while all calamity happening. 1.5 million cases in the US today. Yeah, it's kind of phenomenal how badly Joe Biden's dropped the ball. What was funny, I saw someone pointing out today that when Trump was still president, Biden categorically said a huge federal response was required to manage COVID. And just in the last day or so, he made a statement about how COVID can't be solved at the federal level. States will have to do it. It's like, dude, shit you say on the public record is on the public record, okay? Holy shit, Aussie Gun Bunny, you saw people walking around the shop with no masks. Okay, what I was impressed by, I had to go into the city for my dental appointment yesterday. In the streets, in the open, in the city, 80% of people were wearing masks. I've never seen that high a percentage of people wearing masks outside when they weren't mandated. Indoors, almost everyone wears them, but they're not mandated outdoors at the moment. And the fact 80% of people in the city were wearing them, I was actually pretty impressed by that. Music cavity, aged care worker friend, brother tested positive. Turned away from hospital because they weren't sick enough. Oh, can't go to work because you're too sick. You can't really go to hospital for COVID now unless there's risk of you stopping breathing, basically. If you just feel like shit, which is somewhere between 30 and 50% of COVID patients feel like shit, that's not good enough. You have to be I can't breathe. If you're actually worried you're going to stop breathing. Oh my God, no, Chris, the medical staff, what they're being forced to do is absolutely criminal for everyone. Absolutely criminal. And it's definitely worse in the US than here, but it's pretty bad here. Mrs. Angry's worried. She's a psychologist counselor, but so she works for the health department, and she's actually been taking on some supporting roles for the COVID plan. She's worried they're actually going to make her work in a hospital. It's like, well, you're a medical professional, aren't you? Don't know how to work in a hospital, but you're a medical professional. It hasn't happened yet, but it's early days. She's worried sometime in the next month they're going to say, well, you work for the health department, so you have to work in a hospital now. Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we've had all the conversations with everyone in the house, like, okay, because we're lucky enough to have multiple bathrooms in this house. So previous house, we didn't have that. We had one bathroom. We would have been fucked. But we have multiple bathrooms in this house. So we've already had the discussion. Okay, if someone, and it's different if it's myself or Mrs. Angry who gets sick, or if it's one of the offspring who gets sick, we'll just say, if someone gets sick, okay, this is what we're going to do. They're going to stay in their room. That bathroom will be theirs. You wear a mask when you come out of the room, and we'll keep communication up and all that sort of shit. So we've had conversations about what to do in the house. Vegan. Oh, you changed the screen name after Word Nerd Day. The vegan pluviophile. Hello, Heine. I've never read Love in the Time of Cholera, so I'm not sure if it has any lessons for us. Safa, we all wish COVID would disappear. It will never disappear, but it may just become part of the background noise once it's endemic. It's like influenza kills a heap of people in a normal year. It'll just keep happening. Justin, would I do live streams if I get COVID? Depending how severe it is, I might do more live streams, because if I get COVID, I'll be shut in the bedroom with a laptop. Theoretically, I might do more live streams, unless I'm fucked. If I'm fucked, I'm not doing live streams if I'm fucked. But if I have, you have COVID, but you're not particularly fucked, you have to wait a week or two till you're not symptomatic. I'd probably do more live streams. Okay, day one of COVID, I feel like this. But yeah. I have no idea what that question means, Safa. Can't Mrs. Angry get a Medi Hotel if you just called in? I have no idea what that question means. Chris, your mum's back in quasi-hazmat gear. So the boss is showing symptoms. God, dear. Cooking in a get up like that's hard. Yep. Oh, dear. Oh, shit. I didn't see that, Safa. Tomic tested positive for COVID. Well, that would be him out, I assume. It's just fucking everywhere. I hope Tomic punches the other dickhead in the fucking face. Punch Djokovic in the face if he gets the chance. So, Chris, COVID. If you got COVID with your chronic bronchitis, yeah, and again, I feel like you'd get quite sick, Chris. I'm quite hopeful the vaccines would give you enough protection to avoid death, but I think you would be having trouble breathing for a little while, essentially. So yes, you got all my positive vibes going your way. Because shit's fucked up, yo. God, what is that? Is that a bit of my cherry? Sorry, yeah, I think it's a bit of my cherry. It's the same color as my cherry. I assume it's a bit of my cherry. There's a mystery here. All the fucking cocktail pics I had over there are just not there for no apparent reason. I haven't been able to work out why. But I had other ones. Anyway. Justin, your boss had a rumor they might have a half Senate election before an election for the House of Reps later in the year. That sounds strange, but I don't know how those things work. You're a pluviophile and an entomophile. Basically, like you find you're being caught in the rain while playing with bugs, sipping vegan coladas. Nice. There's a nice thing about a pina colada. You can make them vegan with the coconut milk. All right. Before I'm going to do a gin tasting because I've got a new gin. That was the other thing. When I went into the city for my dental appointment, so much parking in the city, which is normally not the case. I could have parked on the street right outside my dentist office, but I had to pay for a parking meter. But I went a bit further away, QV building, where there are some booze purveyors, park there and buy some booze, and I get 2 hours free parking. So I got this bottle of Australian gin for about 25% off, and then getting that off saved me any parking fees as well. So from a certain perspective, very cheap bottle of gin. So Music Overday found cops blocking the street off, had to go inside and cordon an area by 20 meters. What was the cordoning about? Project Redfoot, hello. If you type a message to someone meaning to send it in the morning, but you hit send at 4:20 a.m. Whoops. Yep. Okay. So Chris, AOC had COVID after traveling for vacation. What a shocker! Traveling and eating out in an outside crowded area gives you Rona. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Americans having traveled and then going, oh, I've got the Rona. There you go. Yeah, the whole Djokovic thing is fucking horseshit. Who knows what's happening now? Okay, so Music about it. The cops were nearly finished. Opened the street about 2 minutes later. What's that all about? Heine, you say you're not 100% comfortable with people who don't agree with vaccines. I fucking hate with a passion anti-vaxxers. They're worthless fucking scum who are literally killing people. Not just the COVID vaccine, but they've stopped people taking measles vaccines and whatnot, which has led to measles outbreaks, which have caused significant misery and deaths. Anti-vaxxers are fucking killers. They're the scum of the fucking earth, and I fucking despise them. It's like if their belief systems were totally stupid and false, like people who thinks there's a hidden valley with giants living in it, it'd be like, sure. But their belief system is based on lies and they're killing people. I fucking despise them. Hello, Dr. Abigail. And hello, Zero Bunny. Zero Bunny, 100% on the hating anti-vaxxers. Yes. So, yes, hate the anti-vaxxers. Sorry, music over. So you don't know what the street closure is for, but the last one was for someone being stabbed in Broady. Yeah. See, no, Aussie Gun Bunny. There is a world of difference between someone who can't take a vaccine because of legitimate health reasons and an anti-vaxxer. Those are not the same thing. Those are poles apart. The anti-vaxxers are the shit-eating fucking cunts who peddle lies and paranoia and think they're smarter than... I fucking hate them so much. So 4 years ago, there was snow in the mountains near Melbourne, the Dandenongs. Yeah, it does happen. Very rare in this time of year, but it does happen. Of course, in winter, you get a lot. All right, I'm going to drink a little bit of water before I do a gin tasting. As I was mentioning, when I went in for my dentist appointment, I bought some gin in the QV building to get free parking. So, cool. Safa, yeah, as soon as someone said, oh, you should have paracetamol at home in case you get COVID, it might help ease some symptoms. Of course, it ran out at the supermarket. I went to 2 different supermarkets today. A Woolies. There was some stuff missing. Not a huge amount, but there was some stuff missing from the shelves. Then I went to a Coles. They had no chicken, but that was about the only thing that was missing in Coles. Chicken, no chicken at all. Project Redfoot. COVID can break through vaccines. Not only can you be a carrier, you can get sick. And in a very tiny number of cases, a fully vaccinated person can die as a result of COVID. Like, I think we've got the statistics that show being vaccinated reduces the chance of serious illness of death by at least 90% compared to an unvaccinated person. So pretty good deal. Oh God, Aussie God Money, your friend's been in a self-imposed lockdown for almost 2 years, but she had people treating her like an anti-vaxxer. Yeah, no, I'm very clear on the difference. Maybe it's just because I have a few chronically ill friends, but there's a world of difference between someone who has a genuine medical reason for not taking vaccines and scumfuck anti-vaxxers. Hate them so much, and that's because the main reason I hate them is because of people who can't take the vaccine, who are vulnerable. They're put at so much more risk by anti-vaxxer scumfucks. I hate them. Yes, I saw that Safa, Dr. Carl got COVID and he had 3 doses and he just said he needed nana naps for a couple of days. Was run down, very run down. I didn't hear that, Safa, that Paul McDermott had it really bad. Kaiju, hello. Your friend's planning one-shot set in another friend's D&D game, torn between 2 kinds of druids. Circle of the Moon and Circle of the Shepherd Dragonborn. Oh. On the one hand, Tabaxi is a dino enthusiast. Change the dinosaurs. Nice. It's your analogy, Aussie Gun Bunny. COVID's like a maniac running around with a loaded handgun, and COVID's a ballistic vest. It improves your chance of not dying, but sometimes the maniac gets lucky with a headshot. That is true, but I mean, I will take the fucking odds that the vaccine reduces your chance of serious illness or death by at least 90%. Oh, Abigail's made a call for you, Kaiju. Be Circle of the Moon Druid. Be the tank. Safa, my personal experience of the Moderna booster was less side effects than my 2 doses of AstraZeneca. Second dose of AstraZeneca was nothing. First one was the night of. I had fucking fever chills. I was like, bleh, and I was so weak. I still think it was kind of funny and pathetic. Because I just woke up and I had the chills and I just had the sheet on. And you had a weighted blanket on. I thought, that'll make me feel better if I can. And I grabbed the weight and I wasn't strong enough to pull up a weighted blanket. And because I was kind of flopping about, I woke up Mrs. Angus. I was like, can you give me the blankie? I can't pull it up. And so she goes, oh, and pulls up a weighted blanket on me. And I sort of snuggle under the weighted blanket. Thank you. And then after a couple of hours, the chills went away and I was too hot under the weighted blanket. And I tried to get it and I could just get the weighted blanket off me. I'm like, and I pushed it into a big lump and I was trying to push that off the bed, but I was too weak to push the bundled up weighted blanket off the bed. I think, stupid blanket, and lay back and went to sleep. That lasted for one night, and I was very tired the next day. Then I got proper sleep the next night. Then I was fine. Yes, after 3.5 billion on tanks is what Mars again. Fucking clueless. How, if Labor loses the next election, I'm just fucking done. because the LNP has given them all the ammunition they need for an election campaign. If Labor doesn't go hard and fucking savage them and just hammer into the Australian public's head, these pieces of shit have failed you. They've fucked you over. They've wasted money. They think you, the citizens, don't count for shit. They have channeled literally billions of dollars to vested interests while leaving you to literally fucking die. If Labor doesn't go hard on that, then you know what? I'm just going to be a fucking cave hermit and live in the hills somewhere because I'll be fucking done. And you know, I'll be so pissed off at people voting for the LNP. I don't know, I might just start stabbing random people in the street in frustration. Oh, yes, I do see that Albanese saying something about a fast train from Sydney to Newcastle. I don't give a shit. It's so far down the spectrum of things I care about. But Labor's making some of the right noises now, so who knows? And by some of the right noises, I mean attacking the LNP. Aussie Gun Bunny, I think individual members can make a difference. And here's the thing. I will say, no matter who's in power, a strong opposition or a viable opposition is required. Like the situation in Western Australia, like all had a good laugh how Labor just fucking swept the floor in Western Australia. There's like only 2 or 3 Liberals have seats. And it's funny, but it's dangerous. So yeah, if the LNP can field a couple quality people, good. What do you ask the gun buddy? You told him, love you, mate, but I won't vote for you. Oh dear. Safa, that is a not true statement you made. Swanston Street's not on any map apps. That's not true. Anyway, I drank some water. I'm good. I'm gonna taste this gin. I'm gonna do a comparative taste of this gin. Oh yeah, see, ACT is different, and I also do think it's dangerous, Justin, that Labor's been in power for 20 years in the ACT because it's a public service town, and yeah, the LNP will cut funding to the public service and Labor won't, which basically guarantees them power there. I genuinely think that's dangerous. It's the old saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Hey, Celtic. So what's that, honey? You're talking about Swanston Street has poor traffic throughput, Google Maps, etc. downgraded. It gets what you mean. It's not on maps. You cannot drive cars down Swanston Street. So if you look for a driving route, it will not send you down Swanston Street because it can't, because you're not allowed to drive a car down there. That is not the same as Swanston Street's not on the maps. It's on the maps. Language matters. All right, I'm going to do a gene comparison. The new one. I think I'll do 3 gins just for fun. What's this one? That one? That's actually the one I wanted. Is that the one? All right. 3 Australian gins. I'm going to do a comparative taste test on. Okay, get some shot glasses. Okay, shot glasses. Okay, oof. Injection site's itchy. Justin, you're right. The Greens are probably a bigger danger to ACT Labor than the Liberals. All right, so this is the one I got the other day. Hemp gin. Made with Australian grain and limon. What is it? 40% standard for gin. It's from Gippsland. From the rolling hills of our Gippsland family farm, we're on a quest to bring you environmentally sustainable, guilt-free drinks taste great. Locally sourced, nutrient and protein-rich ingredients to craft our drinks raw, gluten-free, sugar-free, lactose-free, free from chemical additives, providing a natural hemp highlight. Powerful organic compound of limonene. There you go. Don't know what that is. Interacts delicately with a rich juniper, offering notes of fresh mandarin and lime with a soft, spicy finish. Natural Distilling Company hemp gin, best enjoyed on ice, as a feature from any premium tonic or soda, garnished with citrus. Good times, natural and sustainably. So I think this is meant to be a citrus-forward gin. Oh no, Celtic. VD is being kicked out of his friend's place the other day for having cannabis with him. I know every time Video Dude says anything to you about me, he's angry at me. This is genuine. I want you to tell him what I want is for him to get his shit sorted. I hope he gets shit sorted out and things start to go better. But it's on him to sort his shit out. It'd be very easy for me to just laugh at him, but it's actually kind of sad. And I wish he'd get his shit sorted. All right. So, that's me being magnanimous. So, the new hemp gin. Ooh, almost no aroma. That's really interesting. Almost no aroma. It's amazing. Except there's a really latent burn in my nose. Okay. What's it taste like? Yeah, it's a very citrusy gin. That's good. Ooh, it's good. That is a very citrusy gin. It's good. It's good to have a citrus-forward gin. I have some water to rinse my palate between tastes. It's even a vague sort of eucalyptus vibe in there. Honestly, it doesn't actually have the standard juniper taste to me. But anyway. Now compare that to the Story gin. The Story wines. How do they say? Made with our friends Alchemy Distillers. So the Story wines made this gin with a distiller. It's got finger lime, citrona, lemon myrtle, aniseed myrtle, cinnamon myrtle, mountain pepperberry, wattle seed, ryeberry, orris root, organic juniper. A lot of Australian botanical. Yeah, actually, fair call, Megaleech. I don't know if the type of hemp that's in this would trigger a drug test. See, that's more juniper and botanical. I like that too. That's why it contrasts in gins. I like it because I know this is a real thing. They've proven it. Having like a lemon poppy seed muffin will make you fail a drug test because of the poppy seed. You'll test positive for heroin. It's how bogus most drug tests are. All right, now this is Archie Rose's Bone Dry. This is a fucking exceptional gin, quite honestly. Hedonistic juniper encounter with bracingly dry finish, hand-foraged Macedonian juniper, being meticulously distilled in copper vacuum stills using our cold distillation process to create three distinct expressions. Juniper's piercing pine aroma accented by single estate Australian coriander seed, native lemon-scented gum, emerald green finger lime. So big on the Australian. Yes, Kirsten, literally, I said juniper 3 times. I'm tasting 3 gins. No, because I got a new one. This was to get free parking in the city. I went in for my dental appointment. I thought I'll go to the QV and I'll buy some booze either from the BWS or the Harvey Norman, fucking Dan Murphy's, and I'll get free parking. And I got this one. And also, good advice, Megaleech. If I was getting a drug test, take a photo of this bottle and say it must be that showed up. Yeah, man, that Archie Rose Bone Dry. Whoa, that's gin. That's just like juniper. So they're all good and they're all quite different. Now I'm gonna have them all on ice. Chill them a bit. Go a little bit. Open up the flavors a little. Celtic, everyone wants VD to get his shit together. Needs to kick the drugs. Jesse says, I definitely think he should see a mental health professional. Yes. Yes, and he does seem a bit delusional and grandiose in his thinking. I have no idea if me saying something positive towards him will make him feel better or if it would make him angry. But yes, if it comes up, tell him I'm not laughing at his misadventures. My hope is that he gets the appropriate help. So, Justin, at the local level in Washington, D.C., Republicans don't have a seat in the local legislature. Well, this is the same deal because the fucking Republicans would fuck up the funding for the government services. Government town, that doesn't work. Okay, so this is back to the hemp gin. Yeah, the citrus forward on this. This is exactly what I wanted for a cocktail. I'm gonna test drive it. I'm gonna make a cocktail with this a bit later. I have an idea for a cocktail, my own invention, and we'll see what happens. I swallowed that shot just as I inhaled. That was a mistake. But very citrus forward, that one. More so than any other gin I have, which is good. So it's good to have one like that. Yes, I think you're right, Celtic. No matter what I say, he'll be pissed. He'll find a reason to be pissed off. But whatevs, you know. So the story gin, which also, again, these are all very rich in Australian botanicals. It's almost like unintentionally, they're sort of stepping stones to each other. The very citrus forward hemp gin, the very dry Archie Rose, and the story gin is kind of in the middle. It's more junipery than the hemp gin, but it's more citrusy than the Archie Rose. So it's got that little medicinal thing you get with gin sometimes, the piney flavors from the juniper. Not in a bad way, but yeah, when you have those juniper flavors, it can be a bit reminiscent of some medicinal things. You probably can't see this, but as the ice has melted in the Archie Rose, it looshes. Some of the oils come out, and it's not quite as clear as it was. And that's because of the ingredients in there. And there's literally the oils. Oh my God. Hey, Celtic. See you later, man. That's motherfucking gin. I live for some bright and shining future where I have an influential YouTube booze channel where people, particularly Australian makers, send me free booze. But until then, an absolutely unpaid for ad. This is fucking amazing. I like that, Kirsten. Flavor you can see. Yeah, it's the natural oils in the botanicals actually come out when you add ice. That is juniper. Whew. And that makes a fucking killer martini. I was going to make a martini with the hemp gin to see what it's like, but then I was working on a script for an upcoming video that was going to include a gin-based cocktail. I thought, okay, this will work for that because I want a citron gin. Fixitude, how are you going? Safa, how boring is FTA? Probably depends what FTA is. Saber Kitty, hello. You learned you can't send free booze to Australia. You cannot. It will get stopped at the border and they will apply duties to it. So it's a little bit expensive to bring booze in from even gifts. Fixitude. Margaritas, yes. Margaritas for the fucking win, man. Simple cocktails, margarita, tequila, orange liqueur, and lime juice. Fucking kills. And the rum equivalent, a daiquiri, such a good drink. And I like complex drinks too. Sometimes I'll make ones that have 6, 8 ingredients in them. But classic 3-ingredient cocktails fucking rock. They're so good. Oh, good question, Dr. Abigail. Is am I lag anyone else? Is it? Oh, it's me. It's me. Hang on. Hi, Rottweiler dude. I'll be back in a sec. Got to work out if someone's doing something. All right. Hopefully it will get better. Okay, so for whatever reason, at the moment, I having shitty connectivity. The problem is at my end at the moment. Last time, problem was at my end. It sorted itself out. When I found a network cable today. I don't know if the router's got a spare thing for me to plug into. It's because I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm doing this on Wi-Fi. I would have less of a problem if I connect with the. I could look into that. I could look into that if there's something I can plug into. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, and I'll look and see if there's something I can plug into. 1 minute. Okay, apologies for being away. I'm back. And I have a network cable. Also, I think it's probably improved while I've been gone. But if this works... Okay. Oh, wait a sec. All right. One of the things I've been doing in my time off, now, the big thing is, yeah, I think it's connected to cable now. Okay, so the Wi-Fi fixed itself while I was away, but now I've got a cable, which I'm going to use from now on anyway, because it seems good. Okay, I've mentioned I'm in the middle of 2 weeks off at the moment, and I've been doing two things: doing stuff around the house, looking at some boxes that haven't been looked at since we moved 4.5 years ago, and doing some new stuff for my YouTube channel. And I've been making inroads on both. And today I found a long network cable, and I thought that's probably long enough. And I found a port on the fucking router splitter, and so now I'm plugged in. So from now on, these streams are going to be on a cable rather than Wi-Fi. Fix it, dude. What a wonderful turn of phrase. I'm as clear as Djokovic's guilt. It's really funny. It's like, are the federal government still going to try and deport him? Because he's absolutely made them look like a bunch of fucking clowns. Are they going to be spiteful enough to deport him now? What a shit show. Jesus Christ. Scotty from marketing fucking sucks balls. Not in a good way. Oh, Jesus. So, all right. So, but that's a breakthrough. I've got a cable for the live streams now. It's a blast. Oh, yeah, and fix it, dude. The Djokovic thing is fucking bizarre. The whole thing is... It's a shit show. It's so fucking weird. So... I'm looking at my... I'm pretty sure... Yeah, no, I'm not on Wi-Fi. Or am I? No, I don't think I'm on Wi-Fi. Wait, no, that is saying Wi-Fi. I don't know. Oh, yeah, fix it, dude. I want the fucking... I want the crowds to boo him when he's on court. He's such a piece of shit. The more you hear about him, the more you go, man, that guy is a piece of... No, I am connected via Ethernet now, which is good. I just got confirmation I'm connected by Ethernet. Yes, because we do very much hope that the LNP get voted out on the next election, or I'll be very depressed. Okay, so that is a major step forward, I think. I've got a fucking Ethernet connection for the live streams, and that will be from now on. Okay. Geez, that's such a shithouse recipe. Okay, it seems like there's some very different recipes for a Harvey Wallbanger, which is hardly surprising. Okay, so I'm going to get my cocktail shaker, and I'm going to, instead of vodka, it's going to be this gin. Put these other gins back. This is also one I bought on a previous visit to the city, so I'd get free parking. So the Woolies in the city, for some reason, they have Australian gins really cheap, like a quarter to a third off. And it's not an advertised special. It's just something that happens. Megalich, what's Djokovic about in a nutshell? Djokovic is unvaccinated. He should not be allowed into the country. He lied about his big thing was he tested positive for a COVID before, and that's the equivalent of being vaccinated. I don't know. But also, Djokovic is a fucking pseudo-Nazi nationalist. He's a fucking piece of shit on every level. But the Victorian government wanted him because if he's not world number one, he's right up there. They wanted him for the Australian Open in Melbourne, so they bent the rule. As Tennis Australia bent the rules to let him in. Someone at Immigration Border Force, which is federal, interviewed him on entry and decided he'd been lying and denied him entry. And then there was a court case, and the judge said they were wrong to deny him entry. But the federal government can still deport him, I think, because he appears to have lied on his visa form. But who fucking knows? He's a piece of shit. He's garbage, and fuck him. Anyway, I'm going to put these two back. All the gins. All right. Now, what are the components we want? We want liquor 43 to replace Galliano, which is kind of shit, and I don't have it. And where is my orange curacao? Because that's what we want. Orange curacao. It will be here, some there. That's Mando, not orange curacao. Oh, fucking staring me in the face. Orange curacao. And I want lemon juice. She want lemon. It's my lemon juice I squeezed. My fridge smells funny. This guy, I think young Mr. Angry cooked a pork thing. God, I was going to the wrong place for my cocktail shaker. Not used to my new setup yet. Right, this cocktail shaker. All right. Oh, I need a jigger. Man, I do not know what happened to my fucking cocktail skewers. Right, so. Ba-ba-ba-ba. So we caught Scummo back to the UK. I thought Scummo was born in Australia. I know Abbott was born in the UK. Oh, that's a good conversation, Kirsten. In your house, what cheese do cats like? Many cats like cheese. Not all cats like cheese, but some cats really like cheese. All right, so I'm doing 1.5 ounces of gin. Half an ounce of orange curacao. That is absolutely the wrong thing. Half an inch of orange curacao. Oh, we're saying very confusing things about scummo in the UK. All right, half an ounce of liquor 43. Because the Harvey Wallbanger has Galliano in it. Just kind of garbage. Liquor 43 is really nice. Vanilla liqueur from España. And I think we'll do 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Maybe just a bit more than half an ounce. Because my palate likes things a bit less acidic. And now we want to add some ice. And I forgot to... That fridge definitely smells weird. Forgot to add some ice. Safa, what generation would it be if you're from the first fleet? Is that 7th gen? What are we at? 250 years, about 20 years, 20, 30 years a generation. About 7th generation, I guess. I think you made a good guess there, Safa. About 7th generation. All right. Bit more ice. Sound like a bit more ice in the shaker. And I need my strainer. I need a glass to put it in. Right. Got my Hawthorne strainer. Got my Nicanora. I'm liking my new setup in here, actually. No, fix it, dude. I don't free pour. The thing. I might turn the microphone off while I'll shake over here. That's very cold. So if we're going to move well to your 7th gen in your family, because you're 1st generation, if I remember. All right. All right, I picked the right glass. Got a nice wash line. So this is my elevated. Oh my God, the fucking autofocus just went fucko. Hang on. I just want to fix that. Because I didn't do it at the start of the stream. No autofocus. What are we doing? There we go. Now I'm in focus. Right, so this is my elevated Harvey Wallbanger. That's good. No, that's good. Oh, no, that's good. Oh. So this is kind of like a hybrid of a gin sour and the margarita recipe. Maybe it could have a teeny bit of sugar syrup in it. I might put a teeny, when I make it for the cocktail channel, I might like put a bar spoon, like 5 mils of sugar syrup in here. God, Mimsy's making really desperate noises out there. I can hear her. Not altogether sure why she's making such desperate noises, but she is making some desperate noises over there. Safa, any storms? What do you mean overnight last night, or are there any scheduled for tonight? Because we're meant to have warm weather and some rain for the rest of the week. What's the weather saying? Definitely no rain overnight tonight. Jesus, it's only going down to 19 overnight, then going up to 30 tomorrow. Rain's not coming in till Thursday. Then Thursday and Friday are rain and storms. So dry today and tomorrow, then rain and storms tomorrow and Friday. Yeah, this is the exciting time where we talk about the weather. Kirsten, can you remarry your husband? He brought you a glass of tawny and some chocolate. You should definitely remarry husband. It's worth it. Don't know if I told you, by the way, Kirsten. I don't know if you're here. I decant. Okay, so speaking of people I want to remarry, Mrs. Angry. My Christmas present, this little 1 liter cask with a tap. So I am currently cask aging a cocktail. I had tawny in here for 2 weeks to season the cask. Man, that smells good. And then I drained the tawny out. And it tastes quite good. Need to come up with some... Well, okay, just sitting back and sipping some tawny occasionally is good. So... Oh, God. So I seasoned the cask for 2 weeks with some tawny, which is Australian port. And then I made a cocktail, which is kind of the mutant cousin of a Sazerac. And leave it in there for a while. Like I only put it in there on Sunday. I'm going to taste it in 2 weeks. I'm going to taste it in 2 weeks. And then again in 4 weeks. See if I can taste it. And I'm going to have to remember. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to record a video at 2 weeks and go, tasting notes, blah, 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 blah. And then 2 weeks after that, I'll do it again and go, okay, tasting notes, blah, 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 blah. And then compare the two bits of video and see what I think is different. So that's the thing. Oh, fix it. You're in the Great Victorian Desert. 1,100 kilometers above Adelaide, 450 kilometers south of the Alps. Dude, you were in the fucking dead heart. Fix it, dude, is in the dead heart. This is pretty good. I think a bar spoon of sugar syrup would elevate it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this for a video, and I'm going to put it just a bar spoon of sugar syrup. I think that will elevate it. Yeah, Safa, doesn't that bring it home? Because I thought Dubbo was the middle of nowhere. You thought you lived in the middle of nowhere. Fix It Dude is in the fucking dead heart between Adelaide and Darwin. Good Lord. You're on Starlink. Oh, actually coming to us via satellite. Nice. And yeah, Heine, that's a good question. Fix It Dude. Where's your electricity? Are you on the grid or are you on a generator? Because yeah, that is a pertinent question, I think. So I'm going a bit more, probably water into that drink. I like that, Kirsten. You went to a wedding yesterday, so feeling romantic. Oh, so Fix It Dude, you have diesel generators. Cool. And Dr. Abigail, yeah. Well, someone lives there. Someone fucking lives in the middle of nowhere, and it's apparently a Fixed Dude. And it's kind of fun that we've got you here. Okay. Yeah, no, actually. Okay, so that drink works, and I think a bar spoon of sugar syrup is going to make it just schmick. So yeah, actually, okay. Fixitude. Safa's asking you how many people are vaccinated here. Are you in a community? Are you in a town? How many people are around you? Now we're getting into this conversation. I have to admit, I'm kind of fascinated. So how many people are around you? Are people getting vaccinated? Are they able to get vaccinated? You're in a small town called Marla, nearing 90% vaccinated. You want to be, because so little fucking medical support, right? Everyone wants to get fucking vaccinated. Okay, this is what I love about the internet. Having random conversations like this. It's like, no, good. That's a good thing. This is a fun thing about playing with, because I've been playing with cocktails for like 4 years now, and sort of seriously playing with cocktails for about 3 years. So actually, I guess I've been playing with cocktails for 4, 5, 6 years, but very seriously for 3 years. You get to the phase where you go, this is going to work. If I just do this, this, and this, it's going to work. And I looked at the recipe for a Harvey Wallbanger, which is quite frankly a shitty drink. And I just took out the shitty elements and put in good elements to replace them. And I'm going like, this will work. This will work. And it absolutely did. Have to come up with a name for it. The only thing I've come up with so far, potentially, is a Harvey door knocker, because it's more subtle than a Harvey Wallbanger. Yeah. So, Fixitude, you were on IINet, Sky Muster before Starlink. Speeds used to be pitiful. Starlink, which is straight to a satellite, is better. There you go. That feels pretty good. All right, I'm going to put these things back. Put back the liquor 43. Put back the orange curacao. Oof. And put this hemp gin back. Put it back here. So I mean, I was like, that's whiskey. That's rum. Under here is mostly gin and gin derivatives. And there's a few rums and other liqueurs under there. And that's like liqueurs and stuff over there. Hoot. That's an interesting question, Safa. Fixitude, put Starlink on the roof yourself. Oh shit! Are you near Woomera, Fixitude? The ground station's at Woomera, so up downlink is very low latency. I am actually on satellite here. That was a change they made recently. By recently, I mean in the last year. In my place, I was like on cable for Foxtel and Telstra Internet, and they went, "Oh, we're going to upgrade you." That actually requires a satellite upgrade. So someone came around and installed a little satellite dish on the roof. So I'm actually on satellite here. Not for I'm not. I don't know if that's for internet or just for the Foxtel. I actually don't know. But it's kind of like, because it's rental, and Mrs. Angry went, "Oh, should we ask permission from the landlord?" And I was like, if we ask permission, they might say no. So fuck them. Just do it. And what are they going to fucking do? Oh no, we improved the facilities in the house. Oh no. I'm actually, this is weird. People always ask me, like, when I get uh, a new laptop or a desktop or whatever. People ask me specs. I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. The Flat Earth Video Gamer, LSD is satanic. Ask Larry Hagman, repent. Yes, and me and Satan are buds. Larry Hagman, I thought he was dead, so I don't know how to ask him. Although I think I could take a lot of LSD and ask Larry Hagman. That could be a thing. Yes, we didn't even talk about this. For anyone who missed it, the theme I chose for today was the birthday of the discoverer of LSD. Abigail, you're correcting me to say Satan and I don't even remember what I said. So, okay, for those who don't know, the guy who is regarded as being the first person to synthesize, consume, and recognize the hallucinogenic properties of LSD was Albert Hoffman. And it's his birthday today. And he died only relatively recently, actually. He lived for more than a century, which is pretty fucking funny. And my personal favorite is that he was developing the compound in the lab and accidentally absorbed some through the skin in his hand, and it all got a bit trippy. And he goes, oh. And then he did what he thought was a controlled dose, which was about 10 times more than you take as a recreational dose. And he thought that would have almost no effect, but it was actually a massive dose. And then he rode a bike home, tripping fucking balls, which I personally think is hilarious. That he's gone and gone, like classic science, I'm just going to experiment on myself. And he's ridden a bike home going, this will be fine. And on the way home, he starts tripping fucking balls and documents it later. Yes, Abigail, this guy is, Hoffman is so much the poster child of can you lick the science? Hoffman decided to lick the science and he discovered a lot. And he lived to 102 or something. And he believed in the therapeutic benefits of LSD. He thought the counterculture in the 60s discredited it a bit, but I am a big believer in the various hallucinogens expanding consciousness a bit. So possibly our resident scientician, Abigail, might help me with some scientific research in the future. And we'll see what happens there. Oh, Christ, yes, Safa, driving a car on LSD would be a super fucking bad idea. You would kill people. In a bike, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to crash the bike and hurt yourself. But he didn't crash the bike. He got home. But yeah. I see with Megalich, you're making a joke about LCD. I like that. Yeah. But yeah, Hoffman, and again, just mad science. People who do science and it's just like, and, you know, with like Marie Curie with researching radioactive elements and exposing herself to shit, which unfortunately eventually killed her. But scientists who lick the science essentially and just go like, oh, what fucking happens? Okay, it would be unethical for me to expose anyone else to this. So I think I'll just expose myself. And humanity has advanced by incredibly curious people doing stuff that's arguably a bad idea, but they just go, you know what? It's a question. I need an answer. The shortest answer will come from me doing it to myself. And Hoffman was a fucking great example of that. Yeah, fix it, dude. Frontier scientist. It's See, what I've got stuck in my head now is the avalanches. That boy needs therapy. Psychosomatic. Frontier scientists. Da, 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 da. See, Safi, you're curious, but not that curious. See, that's the scientific urge that's missing. Kate Alexander, hello. Who's a fan of Tennis Australia? I don't know. I am kind of in a very perverse way a fan of the shit show that Tennis Australia have created by kind of clearly lying and making shit up with Djokovic. I don't know. I'm a fan of chaos. And Tennis Australia surprisingly have become an agent of chaos. One would not necessarily expect Tennis Australia to be an agent of chaos, but they are. They absolutely are. They have created a situation which has spiraled beyond their control very quickly. Yes, Abigail, frontier scienticians. That boy needs therapy, which is possibly me. But again, okay, I've my third dose of the vaccine was last week. So another week, I'll be feeling a bit thin. I might end up having a get together, a stream with Dr. Abigail and Nettie. Who knows? I don't want to go to any public venue that has lots of people, but I don't want to completely separate myself from my friends. So I don't know. Dr. Abigail might get Dr. Abigail over for another stream. Might do another one from these place. Oh yes, no, Abigail. Frontier Scientologists, we shoot them on sight. We absolutely fucking shoot them on sight. Okay, Scientologists, bad. Scienticians, good. Oh dear. I actually here's a fun thing that happened for me, because the Avalanches released their pivotal album so many years. Was it like 90 years ago? Did I just say 90? I meant 20. Okay. I'm just going to look it up. The Avalanches. Okay. Since I met you. Oh no, that's wrong. Okay. But here's a weird thing that happened way back when they released just their absolutely stunning album, Since I Left You, which was approximately 20 years ago. Okay, this is a thing that happened. I had been living I'd been living in Melbourne not very long. And a friend, I'd moved from Sydney, and a friend from Sydney came up to visit me and my girlfriend at the time, and he was like, oh, you know what? It would fucking rock if when I was visiting you, the Avalanches were playing live. And I went, yeah, dude, the odds are pretty against that. And I looked up the week he was coming, the Avalanches were doing a live show at Revolver on Chapel Street. And I went, well, fuck me. So we went and saw the Avalanches live at Revolver. And it was a fucking great show and really enjoyed it. It's like, okay, I'm going home. But Avalanches finished their set at, I don't know, 1 a.m. And Revolver was continuing with DJ sets all night. And I had not taken any chemical enhancements for this night. And at about 1 or 2 a.m., when they kicked in with this fucking power techno DJ sets, I was going like, okay, if I had the appropriate chemical enhancements, I would fucking follow this shit through to 6 a.m. But I'm exhausted. It's like 2 a.m. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm going home. and I went home. But again, I will never forget the one time I saw the Avalanches live, which is not that long after they released Since I Met You. My fucking friend from Sydney just randomly coming and saying, "Let's go out," and going, "Oh, it'd be cool if the Avalanches were playing." And I'm going, "Dude, the Avalanches aren't going to be playing." And I looked, the Avalanches were playing, so we went out and saw them. It was a good night. And again, yeah, if I'd had the appropriate chemical enhancement, I would have stayed there all night. But I didn't, so I left. Dr. Abigail, you decided to go to Brisbane a couple of years ago to visit your then partner, and her partner lived behind a bar hosting a fucking punk festival hosted by Friends All Rom, Jay and the Doctor. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That would have been cool. That would have been cool. But yeah, I've had these occasional things where it's like shit has happened and I'm like, oh man, I wasn't expecting that. That was wild. Like I went to a fucking, I can't remember if it was New Year's Eve or a fucking Mardi Gras. I think it was New Year's Eve at the Horden Pavilion where Grace Jones was playing. And I was just in with the hoi polloi and whatnot. Blah, blah. And in the very hours of the early hours of the morning, like 3, 4 a.m., a friend said, I think I can get us into the like VIP area that's upstairs. And like, okay, let's go. And nothing much was happening there, but there was a good chill out zone. So I was sitting on a lounge. And while I was there, and again, kids, drugs, not cool. They're illegal. So I'm not saying I was under the influence of anything that was a prescribed substance, but I was there and sitting on this lounge chair with a friend, and fucking Grace Jones came back and pranced through like right in front of me, riding another woman like a pony across in front of me. And I was like, wasn't expecting that. Was not expecting that. That was a whole thing. So, oh my God. Dr. Abigail, after going with your then partner and her partner, you end up wanting to spend more time with him there. Again, parties and raves and dance. It's just, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing that does, weird things to your head, and anything could happen. But yeah, when was this party with Grace Jones? I think it was New Year's Eve in Sydney. It was probably early 90s because I'm old, by the way. So when I start citing something that's 30 years ago, that's when I was a sexy young thing. So yeah. But also about my Facebook memories over New Year's Eve was like about 10 years ago. I went to a New Year's Eve party that had Neil Gaiman and Amanda Palmer at it here in Melbourne. And look, okay, I like a lot of stuff that Amanda Palmer has done. She has also done very questionable things associated with questionable people and whatnot. But, humans are complex and what stuff. But it was a very good New Year's Eve, this masquerade that where the special guests were Neil Gaiman and Amanda Palmer. Oh shit, Fix It Too, the boiler room at the big day out. Yeah, no, that was pretty wild, I should say. And Safa, yes, raves are largely a thing of the past. The high point of raves was the 90s. I was not a huge raver, but I probably went to 2 or 3 good raves. Again, mad ravers would go to a rave every weekend. It was like, no, I do not have that much resilience or that much money to take the chemicals that you are taking every weekend. But yeah, in the early 90s, I probably went to 2 or 3 really good raves and had a really good time. And I don't know if I'm just trying to make myself feel better, but I kind of feel that's better than the people who would go out every fucking weekend. And I knew people who would go out every fucking weekend. Oh, Christ, Abigail, I remember your stories about raves in Cryol Castle in the noughties. For those who don't know Cryol Castle, it is this super fucking weird thing. I'm going to look it up. I am actually going to look it up while we're here to give you a definition of it. Cryol Castle is a theme park which kind of still exists. It's made to look like a castle. Sorry, I'm just going to look up images online and I'm going to share some images. Okay, I'm going to share some images of Cryol Castle because it's super fucking weird. Chrome tab, Cryol Castle. Okay, so you can see someone's built a fake castle. And they do medieval jousting and shit whatnot. But they also rent it out for raves. Oh my God, there are suites. There's accommodation at Cryol Castle. Oh my God. So basically, Cryol Castle is super fucking weird. So even the jousting and the medieval life and everything, that's weird enough. But they also rent the space out and people have done raves and shit here. Fix it, dude. You reckon Cryol Castle is closed now? It might be. I don't have the mental bandwidth at the moment to look at their website. Their website still seems to be active. And Abigail, the maze is so bad, it's funny. Was one branch, and otherwise you just walk around and around. Yeah. But I also remember when my progeny were very young, we found this place. There was a fun sort of play center for kids, and it had games and mazes and shit. And there was this one room with mazes with black light and fluorescent paint. There is no way they did not rent that out to raves because it was trippy as fuck. Even in the middle of the day with kids, completely sober and straight, being it going, yeah, they definitely rent this out for raves. That's yeah. Music over, do you reckon Cryol Castle's still open? They did temporarily close during COVID lockdowns, but it's still there. The website made it look like it was still open. Okay. I think I possibly need to hydrate before bedtime. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. I just poured the ice out of my cocktail shaker. And I'm going to add some water to it. All right. I just had a little thought. I am going to drink this water. Had this little thought. I might drink a teeny bit of my cask cocktail because it's only been in there for a day or two. Sorry, I just tipped cold water on my arm. And I think I did a good job not to shriek because it was very cold and it was quite a shock while I was casually flopping that glass about. Kaiju Hydrate comes in a little glass vial. Go over here. Need to drink a little water. I think before going to bed, I'll have a tiny drink of my cask cocktail because it hasn't really aged because it's only been in there for 2 days now. I was going to try it in 2 weeks, but I thought I'll try and remember what it tastes like before it's aged, essentially. I probably will not accurately remember that. But I want to have a teensy taste, just a teensy taste, just a mouthful. But I'm going to drink this water first. because one needs to hydrate. Hello, micro USB. By the way, you were disappointed receiving 4-hour shift, but after that garbage excuse for sleep, you welcome it. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm still in the middle of 2 weeks leave, and I did realized either today or yesterday it is going to feel a bit weird to go to work. I'm just going to fucking log in next Monday, and I think we have a team meeting on Monday morning, and I'm just going to do, hey, the fuck, what am I supposed to be doing? Please, I have forgotten literally everything. I've been away for only 2 weeks, and I've forgotten literally everything. Please tell me what I should be doing, because I do not fucking know. So, Micro, it's a bit chilly where you are. I would expect that at this time of year in New York State. Very warm here. We're in the middle of a stretch of about a week of about 30 Celsius, which I think is like 85 Fahrenheit. It's a warm week. It's not brutally hot. It's warmer than I like it to be. I prefer it to be my perfect weather is what usually happens in spring, low to mid 20s. That's sunny and low to mid 20s. I fucking love that. We have not had a particularly brutal summer because of the La Nina weather pattern, so it's been wetter and cooler than average, but we've had some very warm days, the 90 to 100 Fahrenheit days. But yeah, Micro, it feels like minus 15 Celsius where you are. Fuck me. That's fucking brutal. Kirsten, all your co-workers have forgotten how to do their jobs. No, in defense of your co-workers, Kirsten, I feel like I fucking forget everything. I've only been off work for a week, and I feel like I fucking forgot everything. That's not strictly speaking true. I've been off work for nearly 2 weeks because of Christmas. But I'm just going to have to say to my boss, like, what do you want me to do? Sorry, how do I do that? Okay, cool. And also going, because I work in cybersecurity, like, oh my God, were there any fucking dramas? 2 weeks is plenty of time for there to be some dramas with security. So the first thing I'm going to find out, like, Jesus, have we had any dramas? Because I've been in my little bubble. I've been at home. I've been sleeping. I've been drinking. I have been doing some functional stuff, been doing stuff on my YouTube channel, been doing stuff around the house. So I feel like I'm using the time quite productively. I went to a waste disposal center, took a bunch of e-waste. Shit I'd been holding on to for way too long. Some old printers, a fuck ton of old cabling that's just useless now, and just various little bits and bobs and from technology world, and just fucking hoik them into this big dumpster in the council waste disposal thing, where I hope it's going to be properly recycled. But I have to admit, when there's this big fucking dumpster and I'm throwing this, like particularly the printers, rather than just gently putting them in the dumpster, it was very therapeutic to fucking hurl them, just like overarm them and just go and launch them over the wall of the dumpster so they crash down in there. That was therapeutic. I fucking enjoyed that. But yeah. Oh, Micro, your glow-in-the-dark dildo arrived. I like. Music COVID, he changed role 2 times in COVID. Current role is slow and confusing. Old role, you could see the 600 things you had to do. Nowadays, 20 things are confusing. I have been in the same job since pre-COVID, which is super fucking lucky. I'm so fucking spoiled. Having secured this job just before COVID, and I mean like in December. December 2019. And of course, shit went south from January to March 2020. And then started working from home. So I'd been there for like 3 months and we started working from home. Super lucky, because if I'd have stayed in the last place, which was at a uni, and because unis went to hell, they would have fucking cut me loose. I would have lost my job straight away, which would have made the whole COVID thing way more stressful. But I've had a job the entire time. So fucking spoiled. So fucking spoiled. Marco, you're enjoying making your dildo glow. I love it. We need to see it at some point. Yeah, I'm extremely conscious of how privileged I've been for the last 2 years, because it has been a very fucking difficult 2 years for an overwhelming majority of the population. And that's been from people who've lost employment and had that sort of stress to people who've just been in very stressful environments. I've honestly been in a comparatively low stress environment. I've been in the same world is fucked environment as everyone else, but in terms of workplace, my workplace has been much less stressed than a lot of people's, and I'm extremely conscious of that, and I remain grateful for that. I try not to take that for granted, and I try not to, and I think I successfully have remained aware. Not everyone, and in fact only a minority of the population, have had shit as easy as me for the last 2 years. Because shit's fucked up, yo. It really is. So, oof, very weird. So, Michael, you feel lucky to have had the privilege to pay a month for a car that wasn't shit in the middle of going to work? Like just traveling winter without freezing? Yes, see, because you kept working, you need to keep working, and that's held together for you, which is good. But my God, we have all been dealing with so much fucking shit for the last 2 years. It's ridiculous. It is just wild. The fucking weird bullshit that we've been dealing with for the last 2 years is just wild. Again, okay. There are so many people who've had it worse over the last however many years, whether you would say decade, century, whatever. There are people who have suffered famine, war, which is all worse than what us comfortable people have suffered in the last 2 years. But it's not nothing. The weird fucked up shit we've been trying to deal with for the last 2 years, not nothing. And I equate that to kind of like if I ever have a health problem or pain or whatever, and I'm talking to aides, it's like, oh, this is fucked, I feel fucked. And they realize, oh, yes, Mr. Chronic Pain, Chronic Illness, who's been dealing with the most fucked up shit for 2 decades. And he's very good because he always says, look, just because I'm dealing with this fucked up shit doesn't mean what you're dealing with isn't bad. You can say like, oh, what I'm dealing with is here and what that AIDS is dealing with is here, so I shouldn't complain about this. But he's very good in saying like, no, that's still bad. You shouldn't pretend the stuff that you're dealing with isn't bad. Just because you can say, oh, this other person's doing, it's a weird thing. So, Michael, you found out in Indonesia, parents have to pay for child schooling. Great for free for their kids. I'm literally not sure how the schooling system works in Indonesia, and I feel slightly bad in admitting that because that's our nearest neighbour to the north. In the immediate vicinity around Australia, we've got New Zealand, sort of east of the mainland. And then we have PNG and Indonesia to the north of Australia. And then if you keep going, you get like Singapore, the Philippines, and you end up through Southeast Asia into eventually Japan and China. So I feel slightly bad in not having a better understanding of how things work in Indonesia, because they are a rather important neighbour of ours, just to the north, the most populous Islamic nation in the world. A lot of people, when they think of Islamic nations, they think of the Middle East, but the most populous Islamic nation in the world is Indonesia. Also, I think they have the largest standing army in the world, just in pure numbers in the infantry. Like, it's not as high powered and technologically with horrifying weapons as the US Army, but I think I remember reading they have their infantry is the largest standing army in the world. So there you go. Michael, you're talking to girls trying to get her kid into kindergarten. She has to pay for a tuition, afraid she won't be able to. In Indonesia, yeah. No, and again, the Indonesian archipelago is, in most senses, a couple of really quite different, if not nations, regions that have really quite distinct ethnic groups and cultural heritage and whatnot. But politically, they are controlled by the government of Indonesia, which until recently had been a military junta for many decades. And they are technically a democracy at the moment. So things are quite complex in Indonesia. Yeah. Micro, fun fact. They adopted the Muslim religion as an anti-colonial stance. Yep. Oh, yes. No, the Dutch running Indonesia, I think they called it Batavia when they ran it. The Dutch were pretty goddamn fucked as colonizers. Not that any of the European colonizers were good. Jesus Christ, why is AIDSy messaging me? Absence. It's been a bit legal. Something changed. Might make things better. Say hello. We'll say hello for you. Okay, so AIDSy is hoping to join the stream on Thursday. It sounds like things are complicated in AIDSy world at the moment. Oh, that's a nice bit of trivia, Heine. Java has the highest population of any island, more than 100 million. There you go. But yes, there are actually a lot of different cultures and ethnic groups in the Indonesian archipelago, all theoretically under the control of the Indonesian government. Bit weird. And again, they're not all Islamic either. The conservative Islamists are very upset, for instance, with Bali. The Balinese are a bit hedonistic and whatnot, and the conservative Islamists don't like that. And there's a bit of tension about how to handle that. Yes, Micro, their money is garbage. You and I could live like a king for about $1,000 a month. That is true. That is true. I'm not saying we could spend all day, every day, getting hand jobs in massage parlors, but we could spend all day, every day getting hand jobs in massage parlors. All right, so I am actually going to very quickly taste my cask cocktail. Just a little bit of it. Is that enough? Oh man, it smells really good. It smells really good. Okay, that tastes pretty good. Like I said, this is kind of the mutant cousin of a Boulevardier, which traditionally has a very bitter element called Campari. I didn't use Campari. I used something less bitter, but this has that little bit of bitterness, and I love it because I put some cherry brandy in, and I put different fucking whiskeys in there, and I think I put different vermouths in there as well. Seriously, was that another bit of wood out of it? I had a dark thing on my finger. I think that's a bit of wood out of the cask. I thought I got all the wood out of it. Oh, well. I just need to remember when I pour cocktails out of that to do it through a sieve. Oh, yes. So, micro USB. I might not be saying I'd be getting hand jobs all day, but you are saying that. Oh yeah, no, I'd be generous. It's got to be consensual. Want the people, but even if you're not getting sexual massages, I've had friends who've gone to Bali or other places in Southeast Asia, where you can get massages that last an hour or two, like non-sexual massages that last an hour or two, that just take you to another plane of existence for like $5 or $10. And seriously, I could see spending most of my waking hours getting massaged. Doesn't even have to involve hand jobs, but nice bonus. AZ says, shits and giggles. So I know there's a legal difference between biting someone. Oh shit. Okay, here's a hint at what AZ's dealing with. He says, did you know there's a legal difference between biting someone and breaking the skin and just giving them massive cell, venous, and tendon damage without breaking the skin? So if you bite someone and really hurt them but don't break the skin, that's legally less serious than biting someone and breaking the skin. There you go. So, Micro, you learned Asian culture, being light-skinned is highly desired. They sell bleach creams to light. That is a fucking weird thing. Skin lightening creams. That happens in Southeast Asia and in India. So throughout that whole area. And I find that weird and unsettling, quite honestly. Fun fact, a friend who traveled, I think they were in Vietnam, and their baby toddler that they had with them was blonde and blue-eyed, and they just said wherever they went, people were like, what the fuck? And they were treating the kid like a circus oddity, and they were just completely unembarrassed about just fucking staring at the kid. Like, blonde and blue-eyed, what the fuck is that? That is wild. Different culture. I also remember a dance track from a long time ago. Again, periodic reminder, I am old. I think it was the 90s. It was an Australian DJ had a successful dance track. And he's huge. He was like 6'4". He was really tall. And there was this clip to go with his dance track, which was quite successful, because he was DJing in clubs in Bali and shit where Australian expats were. And there was this great clip where he's going to local markets and stuff where everyone else is somewhere between 5 foot and 5'6", and he's 6'4". And even looking at the stalls to get under the awning for the stalls, he had to bend right over. And the clip of him walking through this crowded market with everyone just looking at him going, what the fuck? Was something to behold. And Dr. Abigail, when you were in Thailand, you had purple hair. Yes, you would have got a lot of questions about that. And yeah, no, Micro, you'd be popular because you're white. And I have mentioned the Offspring's mum, my ex, was born in the Philippines. And so my Offspring are mixed race, and they're both comparatively tall. I said, yeah. If you ever want to be media stars, just learn Tagalog, the dominant language in the Philippines, and go and get a job on TV in the Philippines. Because again, my fucking son's 6 foot tall. I'm only 5'8". How the fuck did he get to be 6 foot tall? And my daughter's only about 5'6", but she's taller than everyone in her mum's family. And again, being mixed race, they'd be all over the media there as well. Alexander, hello. I just finished a drink, sort of an elevated Harvey Wallbanger, and I had a teeny drink of my cask cocktail. For some reason, it surged out around the bung. I don't know what that is. It's like syrup there. I'm aging this. I'm going to taste it properly after 2 weeks. I think after 4 weeks. It's only been in here 2 days. It's a teeny taste. It's quite nice. It's kind of like the mutant cousin of a Boulevardier, which is essentially whiskey and a bitter aperitif or amaro. And I've done my own version of that, and I'm barrel aging it to see what it tastes like after a couple of weeks. So, Mike, you were video chatting with your friend and her friends. Son couldn't stop looking at you, playing around, looking through the camera. Okay, this is the funniest things I remember from the time I visited the Philippines. This was actually before my offspring were born, so this is like 25 years ago. Seeing my then partner's family there. Funniest things I remember. One point we were with all the family in a suburb of Manila, Marikina, where the shoes are made. So it was Mildred Marcos's favorite area. I was in a room with people we were talking to, and it was all with adults. And I looked around the room and I realized I was the tallest person in the room. I have never been the tallest person in the room in a room full of adults. So that was wild. And there were little kids, because it's like extended family. There were little kids there. And they would be saying stuff, and they only spoke Tagalog. And they would say something, and the adults would laugh. And I said, what did they say? What was funny? And the two things they said that made the adults laugh the most, and because I was going to say big guy, I'm a fat guy. And I possibly was a bit fatter then than I am. No, I think I was about 10 kilos fatter then than I am now, actually. And so the two things the kids said that made the adults laugh the most, one was, how did you get so big? Like, what did you do to get so big? Because I was bigger than everyone else. When they said that, the adults all laughed. And the other one, they were like patting me on the face. And the adults laughed, as it was funny, and they just said, why is your nose so pointy? Because most Filipinos have flat noses, and I have a pointy nose. And the kids were fascinated with my pointy nose. So those were the things that I found funniest. Oh, no, the other thing. The family had a house in the provinces where there was this little old lady who was the housekeeper who maintained it when they weren't there, because they didn't go there very often. And I think she was approximately 200 years old. She was this little wizened old lady, but she definitely was old enough to have seen American GIs post World War II, because she kept calling me Americano, because I think I was the first white guy she'd seen since the American soldiers went away. And so she was calling me Americano. And she ended up doing this thing, which was a superstition, because she was talking about and drawing too much attention to me. I was wearing shorts, and she spat on her hand and wiped it on the back of my knee. And I was like, what the fuck was that? They were joking. They go, it's a superstition. It's if you draw too much attention to someone, you do this thing with spit to protect them from spirits, because you draw too much attention to them, the spirits will want to possess them. So that was a protective thing. And I was like, is she a witch? And they're like, pretty much. And my partner at the time, she had actually bleached her hair. It wasn't completely blonde, but she like bleached the tips. So as far as everyone in the Philippines who was concerned, who had very dark brown hair, she was a blonde. And this old lady was saying things to my partner like, her hair is beautiful, it's like straw, because she had sort of bleached tips. And so when we were back with the family later that night, they were all still laughing about how the old lady spat on her hand and wiped it on my leg. My partner's laughing. Yeah, that was so funny. And everyone goes, what are you laughing at? She did that to your hair. And she's like, what? And they were, did you not pick it? When she was talking about your hair being like golden straw, she got self-conscious about drawing attention to it. So she spat on her hand and wiped it through your hair. And it was funny. It was funny. basically. Abigail, you're having lunch because you had a huge day yesterday. Super fatigued, slept for 2 hours, woke up at 4 to 5. Well, you're here now. You should have some lunch. Me, I'm going to bed because it's after 10 o'clock. I could keep going because I've got nothing to really do tomorrow. But I'm going to go to bed. And I won't be doing a stream tomorrow night, but I probably will on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We might have a whole run of streams coming up. But I thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been wonderful and enjoyable. And I think I've come up with my Harvey Wallbanger alternative. So that's a good thing. And I'll have an easy day and night tomorrow, I think. And then because Thursday night's almost party night, so we might hit it a bit on Thursday night. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, gonna go to bed. Gonna take it easy. So I hope you all look after yourself as well. And I'll see you later.